over the last few weeks, Kamala Harris has been trying to change the rules on the debate. She wants to change everything because she knows that unless she gets the rules that she wants, unless she has a bias set up, the American people are going to reject her. But you know what she really wants to do? And look out for this on September the 10th. She really wants a moment where she can interrupt Donald Trump and say, "I'm speaking." Because, Kamala Harris, sometimes I think she doesn't want to be the vice president. She wants to be the vice principal. She really likes to just tell people what to do. And she really wants that moment where she says, "I'm speaking." Right? And that's exactly what you'll watch for it on September the 10th. And then you can come back and say you heard it here first. That Kamala Harris, what I'd like her to actually do again is just explain her record, because I think the American people deserve to have a president who explains their record and doesn't run from it. I mean, look, who cares what somebody's family thinks about a presidential race? I care about what these people care about the presidential race. I really couldn't. I mean, look, John McCain has been, John McCain died, 5, 6, 7 years ago? And the media is turning into a story what John McCain's family says about Donald Trump. I don't know if anybody noticed, but pretty much every single member of Tim Walz's family came out and endorsed Donald Trump. Is that a bigger story than what John McCain's son said? I think so. So, sir, whatever John McCain's family thinks, whatever John McCain would have ultimately thought about Kamala Harris's policies, I bring a message from Donald J. Trump. If you were in this country illegally, in 6 months, pack your bags because you're going home. Because, Kamala has this slogan. She talks about, we're not going to go back. And I always ask myself, Kamala, what are you talking about? We're not going back to what? To low inflation? Rising take-home pay? We're not going back to a secure southern border? I'd like to go back to all those things because the American people were doing a lot better. I realize, my friends, that when she says we're not going back, we are going back to a very ancient and dark time in human history. We're going back. Kamala Harris wants to send us back to a place where you have to be rich to enjoy public safety, where you have to be wealthy to afford to buy a home in this country, where if you want to have a nice steak on a Friday night, you've got to make a lot of money. I happen to believe that middle-class Americans ought to be able to afford a nice steak on a Friday night. Isn't that just simple? Kamala Harris wants to take us back to a point where the country and the world don't actually work unless you've got connections and unless you've got a lot of money. But the promise of this country, the promise of liberty and justice for all, is that whether you're rich or poor, you get to live in a safe community. Whether you're rich or poor, you get to afford a nice meal for your family. Whether you're rich or poor, you live in a country where your leaders protect the border instead of tearing it down. Kamala Harris wants to take us back to a time when America didn't even exist, because in America, every citizen controls his own destiny. Every woman controls her own future. Kamala Harris wants to take us back to a broken time in world history. Donald Trump wants to rebuild the American promise where we all believe in liberty and justice for all, and every single citizen gets access to it. That's what Donald Trump's trying to bring us back to.